Ladies and gentlemen, after 35 races of hard competition, we have finally reached the grand finale. Welcome to Race 36, the season finale of Season 10 of the NNSCRA Marvel Studios Cup Series. I am Levi McIntyre, the voice of the NNSCRA Marvel Studios Cup Series, here to welcome you to the Hooters 500 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Yeah, different Atlanta. We're running the modern configuration, but the fall 1997 edition. Getting set for 49 laps of racing at this very fast mile-and-a-half track, and we should be in for quite the event, to say the very least. Now, coming into this race, we got two very big battles that are going to ensue here in today's festivities. First, and most importantly of all, is the Season 10 Championship, as we're about to go in depth on all three of the championship contenders heading into the race here today. Starting from third in points on up, let's start with James Qualls. Now, you want to talk about a massive turnaround from Season 9? This was it for James Qualls. He's been very solid all season long. Despite a few inconsistencies during the middle of the season, he came back strong, and right now is the winningest driver this season. 4 wins, 7 top 5s, and 16 top 10s. Most top 10s out of anybody here in Season 10. Average finish of 17.1, 1 pole. He comes in 155 points out, so you want to talk about the definition of a long shot? James Qualls is the big long shot at this championship battle. But given how far removed from reality this season has been, it's not out of the question for him to still pull off the miracle out of nowhere to win this championship. But then we move on to second in points, Jay Jefferson. And Jay Jefferson has been another one of those very consistent drivers. Only 1 win, 5 top 5s, and 11 top 10s. Average finish of 16.3, 1 pole, and he's 85 points behind the points leader. So yeah, definitely Jay Jefferson is in a much more favorable position to try and snooker the championship away from the points leader heading into the race today, Kyle Matthews. And what a long journey it's been for Kyle Matthews, as he has been trying so hard to get a championship on this YouTube channel, and today could be the day he finally pulls through. Again, more consistency, not as much in crazy stats, however, 1 win back at Talladega, 8 top 5s, which ties him for the most top 5s in the season with Daniel DK and Jonathan Zorline, and 12 top 10s with an average finish of 16.2, a pole. And yeah, he's definitely the odds-on favorite for the championship. So some of the scenarios we'll have to keep an eye out for. Considering the bonus points, 5 for leading a lap and 5 for leading the most laps, James Qualls, if I'm crunching my numbers correctly, which I'm doing it right off the top of my head, I believe he's going to have to hope for Kyle Matthews to finish at least around 29th or 30th or worse, and Qualls picks up a win, or at the very minimum, finishes about 30 spots ahead of Kyle Matthews on the track in order to win the championship. And also stay ahead of also about 18 positions ahead of Jay Jefferson as well in order to get the championship himself. Jay Jefferson, on the other hand, has a much more comfortable cushion to try and close the gap. He's only 85 points out, and it's basically 5 points per position. Jefferson basically would have to hope for Kyle Matthews to perhaps finish about 12 to 14 spots behind, so Jay Jefferson could get the championship. Meanwhile, Kyle Matthews just has to either stay ahead of the competition or stay around the 10th to 15th position range in order to truly clinch the championship. But we got to keep in mind those bonus points. So that's one battle documented, but another one is the Rookie of the Year battle, as it's very close in that area as well. And it's between 3 rookies, Lisa Nelson, Laney Marino, and Daniel DK. Let's take a look at their stats. Lisa Nelson, 5th in points, 2 wins, 5 top 5s, 12 top 10s, average finish of 18.1 with a pole, and she currently is 25 points ahead of the second driver in the Rookie of the Year battle, Laney Marino, who has 1 win, 4 top 5s, 8 top 10s, average finish of 17.9 plus a pole. But yeah, 25 points back. And then the long shot in the Rookie of the Year fight is Daniel DK. 1 win, 8 top 5s, 12 top 10s, average finish of 18.7 and a pole. And he comes in 110 points behind Lisa Nelson in the Rookie of the Year battle. But given how this season's been, anything can happen. And speaking of the race today, why don't we take a look at the top 10 in the starting lineup for the Hooters 500. Cody Lama's getting his first pole of the season, meaning we're going to have a massive clash field when we get to Season 11 at Daytona and the Busch Clash. That's going to be an insane race. Cody Lamas became the 36th different pole sitter this season, although about 33 to 34 of those drivers will be back in Season 11 to participate in the Clash itself. But Cody Lamas just put his name into that race. Zachary Fitzwater starting next to him in second. Row 2, we have Ricky Carman and Cole Deaver. Row 3, we have Jessica Sheldon, and making his final start in his career is Rafael LeDuc. Row 4, Carson Gum and Dylan Poteet. And then row 5, Charles Sanford and Chris Dollarton. One final time this season, let's get the command to fire engines for the Hooters 500 at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Drivers, start your engines!
All 40 drivers now on the track for the pace lap here at Atlanta. A lot of more underlying things going on. Like I said, Rafael LeDuc making his final start. Alyssa Drayson making her final start, at least for the time being. She may come back in the future, but for now, this is her swan song. Cole Deaver, who's starting 4th, he's looking to get his second win of the season and his first at his home state. Can he pull it off? He's in a good qualifying spot in the top 5, but can he pull it off? A lot of other drivers who want to try and get their first win of the season, or perhaps in the case of Rafael LeDuc, their final win of their careers. Pace car is in the pit road, and ladies and gentlemen, for the final time in Season 10, it is time to boogity 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 go racing. And Ricky Carman led the first lap as he is looking to try and pull ahead to try and dominate the rest of this race. But given how close everybody is, it's going to be tough. And speaking of championships, James Qualls already trying to pounce on the opportunity to try and get to the front and get those valuable 5 bonus points. Didn't quite get it right there at the line, but if he can hold steady, he might be able to get it on this lap, as they are 3 wide for many rows deep, although Qualls kind of got a bit tight in the center of 1 and 2, as Seth Cole's going to try and go for the lead, but now Lindsey Snyder making it 3 wide for the top spot. So it's just a knockdown, drag-out battle all throughout the field to see who can come out on top here today. as now Caleb Kilburn, oh, they are 4 wide. Oh, we better keep an eye on this and see if they're going to be able to settle it out, and they do. But already I'm seeing Jay Jefferson trying to pounce as well, trying to get ahead of both Matthews and Qualls to try and gain some points for himself. But back up at the front, Dylan Jacobs going to lead this lap, but also here comes Michael Norman. The lead just continues to change left, right, and center. This feels more like a restrictor play race than it does a traditional Atlanta race, because look at how close everybody is right now. Side by side, 3 wide, many rows deep. You can get a big run off the bottom, off the exit of corners to really shine. Although Norman led that lap, it's 3 wide with Daniel Voiles and Jonathan Zorling to the inside. And Zorling with the second most top 10s this season of 15. He is yet to go to victory lane here in Season 10. Perhaps today could be the day he pulls it off, but here comes Jay Jefferson, who looks like is going to be the first of the championship contenders to lead up at the front to get 5 bonus points. Or does he? Ooh, that was close. I don't know if he got it. No, he didn't get it. It was just barely to Henry Sanford right there, as Henry Sanford pounced and took the lead. And speaking of one of the farewell drivers, here comes Alyssa Drayson trying to get to the lead for herself. She would love to get her final career win here today at Atlanta. But here comes Jordan Forbes, 10th in the point standings, having probably the best season of his career. 2 wins and was in the hunt for the title recently, but just a couple of bad runs kind of hindered his chances. So he's just looking to try and end his season off strong. Same with Dylan Young, who was also looking for his first win of the season, as he now finds himself up at the front. And here comes Melissa Alexander, who has been, other than 1 win this season, has struggled for the majority of it. 27th in the points coming in. She would love to be able to get win number 2 this season to end this season on a high note. Meanwhile, Melissa Alexander trying to hold off Dylan Poteet for the lead, but Poteet not going to give up easily, as he's trying to run the bottom by himself to get up to the front, and if he can get that momentum, he might be able to get the lap lead, and he will. So we have had a lead change every single lap so far here in the early going here at Atlanta. And this race is just kind of zipping along as we go. But meanwhile, I think they're 4 wide back here. Daniel DK, Alyssa Drayson, Cole Deaver, and Scott Groverston, but they're doing a solid job of keeping it together. But I'm going to stay on helicopter view just to watch and see what happens. And whoa! Jay Jefferson, won the championship contenders, was put into the wall! Oh, and we got a secondary wreck! Carson Gum getting turned, and he hit hard into the outside wall. Daniel Voiles as well. But Jay Jefferson, one of the championship contenders, just got damage on the rear end and on both sides of his car. Melissa Alexander, who was just leading a bit ago, she gets caught up in this. Meanwhile, James Qualls and Kyle Matthews both got through all this. Daniel DK won the Rookie of the Year battles, or contenders. Why am I screwing up so much? But Daniel DK's hopes of winning Rookie of the Year looks like they've gone up in flames. But according to scoring, William Brock had the lead when we took the caution, so William Brock's going to have the race lead for now. Let's go ahead and take you to the replay to find out what brought the caution out for the first time today here in the Hooters 500. Well, here's a look at what happened. So I had a feeling this 4 wide action we were getting close to the front of the field was not going to end well. And right there, it's contact between Daniel DK and Jay Jefferson. Even Kyle Matthews, the points leader, was in there just a little bit, but he managed to keep the car straight and not get damaged. But wow, look at Henry Sanford riding up against the outside wall. And wow, James Qualls, very fortunate he didn't get turned in all this. But then you're going to see right there, it looked like Daniel Voiles just could not slow down good enough and ends up coming back up the racetrack. Both he and Carson go rear end first into the outside wall. And then, are we going to get another wreck that happened? Okay, because I saw Alyssa Drayson go into pit road. I don't know if that's strategy or if she actually did get a piece of all this. Oh, yeah, she did get a little bit. Alright, so there you see the initial contact between Jefferson and DK. They come down into Kyle Matthews, up into Henry Sanford and Melissa Alexander. And yeah, Alyssa Drayson did get a significant piece of that insanity. Meanwhile, I need to look around and see what happened with Voiles and Carson. It looks like Carson was about to come down and Voiles just did not slow down. Teammates getting into each other, and they both go up into the outside wall pretty hard. So a lot of drivers going to have their days ended early today. Jay Jefferson, who was one of those contenders for the championship, was involved, and he's got significant damage, and I saw him go into pit road prior to going to this replay. But unfortunate luck for a lot of drivers. Let's take you to the restart here at Atlanta. Surprisingly enough, only one car out of the race after that crash, and that's Henry Sanford. Everybody else is going to try and continue. So we got 39 cars on track, and they are all on the lead lap. But the top 20 when we get back to racing: William Brock is your leader, second Lisa Nelson, third Dylan Young, fourth Cody Lamas, fifth Mitchell Collins. Sixth is Quentin Morris, seventh Cole Deaver, eighth Dylan Poteet, ninth Matt McIntyre, 10th Lauren Marino, 11th Rafael LeDuc, 12th Keith Miller Jr., 13th Zachary Fitzwater, 14th Artur Castanha, 15th Jessica Shelton, 16th Kyle Matthews, 17th Scott Roverston, 18th Charles Belding, 19th Jonathan Zorline, 20th is Lindsey Snyder as James Qualls restarts 21st. And Jay Jefferson's at the very end of the field. Green flag is back out. Still got a long way to go. I think 33 laps to go. Still a long way to go. And already, Lisa Nelson going to pounce on the opportunity to take the lead. And she's the leader of the Rookie of the Year battle. So far, her competition got waned thinned because Daniel DK was involved in that big one. And he's going to be off the pace. And Lainey Marino, she's kind of towards the back of the field. So Lisa Nelson just trying to stay ahead of the 34, essentially. But Dylan Young already going to try and take the lead back. And he does have the lead back. Seems like you just cannot shake the 2-car off of you. And he's got his teammate Mitchell Collins following suit right there behind him in second. But Quentin Moore, with a big head of steam, nearly gets into the 22 of Collins. Somehow we avoid a disaster there. But look at the hometown boy, Cole Deaver. He's looking to pounce on the chance to try and get to the front. He's got to get past a couple more cars before he can get to the leader. But Matt McIntyre trying to be the spoiler to that party, as Matt McIntyre working his way up through the field. As well, he couldn't quite keep that momentum going to get to second. He is staying in line behind Deaver, although now Matt's trying to work the bottom. But meanwhile, Dylan Young's just pulling away from the rest of the field, at least for the time being. But we'll see how long that lasts, because you got a lot of hungry drivers trying to get into formation to get to the 2-car. Mitchell Collins trying to get back to the second spot to make it 1-2 for Young Motorsports, but here comes Lauren Marino in the 38, trying to do what her sister did earlier this season, and that's get a victory. But right now, hanging on in third, and how about one of the more impressive go-or-go-home drivers we have had this season? Artur Castanha, best average finish of anybody this season, despite this being his 19th start. A victory, 5 top 5s, 9 top 10s, and 18 races. And wow, they caught Daniel DK in a heap. DK is super slow on track, and now he's holding up quite a number of drivers. I don't know how we didn't just have a wreck right there, but holy cow. Lisa Nelson and Lainey Marino, the 2 rookies battling it out, got held up in all this. Now the bottom lane finally prevails, but that top side is now finally going to go through. But both Qualls and Matthews got past all that. Back up at the front, Dylan Young, ever since he's taken the lead, nobody's been able to challenge him. As meanwhile, looks like, yeah, the really super slow car on track is Daniel DK, and wow, he nearly got sideswiped by Melissa Alexander right there. So it sounds like we're going to probably encounter him multiple times. But as I was saying about Artur Kastanha, yeah, 1 win, 5 top 5s, 9 top 10s, and 18 starts heading into today. Average finish of 13.8. In fact, he was only about 305 points outside of the 30th spot in the standings. So he was close on a couple occasions to try and get into the top 30 in points to lock himself in the races. But back to the front, Dylan Young, again, just ever since he took the lead, nobody's been able to surpass him. But we'll see if something will change as drivers are really starting to get impatient and trying to work their way up through. As here comes Alex Hoover in the second spot. Still searching for his first top 5. Maybe even a win for the season to end off his Season 10. Quentin Moore, who's also looking for win number 1. Artur Kastanha, win number 2. Mitchell Collins looking for his second career win. He won a season back in Season 9. Or he won a race back in Season 9, I should say. Man, I am struggling with English today. And it looks like we are going to encounter Daniel DK quite a bit here today. And here come the leaders, so let's see what DK is going to do. He's letting everybody go on the bottom, but which line is he going to end up holding up? And wow, nearly gets sideswiped again. That time by Keith Miller Jr. So far, he let everybody go on through. Wasn't easy, though. And now here comes everybody else, and this is where you're going to see drivers getting held up big time. Wow, Dollarton made a big evasive maneuver to go to the bottom to make sure he didn't lose more spots than he already was probably going to. But everybody kind of just scrambling to get by to 66 without incident. Dylan Young still leading the way, and when we come across the line, it'll be 20 laps to go. Alex Hoover is closing in on the 2. He just needs to get that extra bit of momentum to make the move to take the race lead. That's the only issue that he's having right now. Meanwhile, looking at fastest laps of the race, and Jordan Forbes at a 25.654. As I said, this race is feeling more like a restrictor plate race than it is a traditional race here at Atlanta. Alex Hoover has finally caught Dylan Young, and I thought he was going to try and stick it on the bottom, but I don't know if he just doesn't have enough forward bite on the car to really go for it, or he's just waiting it out. Or he could be waiting for drivers behind him to get to him for a draft push and then go for the move. That could be a thing. Because a couple of drivers about to enter into the fray, Lindsay Snyder and Quentin Moore. Lindsay Snyder actually looking for her 3rd win of the season and of her career. But again, Dylan Young just holding everybody off. James Qualls, who's the highest of the championship contenders on track, but the points leader, Kyle Matthews, trying to put the exclamation mark on the championship as he's looking to get up to the 9th spot as he's to the inside of Seth Cole. And I don't know if you notice it too, but it seems like when they go into turn 1, it's like the cars hop. I don't know if that's just a thing with this track or if it's just me. But back up at the front, the top 4 are now pretty much in a freight train formation and are trying to figure out a strategy to get around the 2 car. And it looks like that might happen because they encounter Daniel DK again and Alex Hoover to the inside for the lead, but I'm going back to the 66 to keep an eye on him and see what happens. I think the big thing is the majority of the pack are hoping for a quick caution to come out so they can get back in line with the top 6 or so they can get more spots. And now DK holding up the entire bottom groove. They were 4 wide and they just went on right past. And wow, Zachary Fitzwater, that was close quarter right there. Very close quarter indeed. Meanwhile, Alex Hoover now holding on to the race lead for the time being as we are coming to 14 laps to go. Quentin Moore was in second, but Dylan Young won to get that spot back. And also Dylan Poteet has found himself up here in the picture now. So it looks like unless something else happens, it's going to come down to these top 5 drivers on track to battle it out for the win, because Mitchell Collins has now pretty much lost the top 5 to stay in contention. And then James Qualls kind of the same thing. Meanwhile, Kyle Matthews starting to lose spots. He's just hoping that he doesn't lose more spots than necessary, because James Qualls is hanging on solidly in the 7th position. But as we get back to the front, and now they have caught Carson Gum, who is a bit slower on the track, and Dylan Young takes the lead right on back, and now he's going to have a bit of a margin between himself and second place, but Dylan Poteet hanging on in second. That was kind of a good help for Mitchell Collins to get back up here to still have a chance to contend for the win. Meanwhile, James Qualls has been caught by the second group of cars as they're battling for 7th. Artur Castanha with a run. And Lisa Nelson, she's also trying to put the exclamation mark on the Rookie of the Year championship, as she is hanging on solidly in the top 10, now about to go to the 8th position, maybe even up to 7th now, as she's putting the pedal to the metal. But when we come across the line, it will be 10 laps to go, and Dylan Young trying to go for win number 1 this season, but he got other drivers who are hungry for that win as well. Poteet looking for win number 2, Quentin Moore win number 1, Lindsey Snyder win number 3, Mitchell Collins win number 1, and Alex Hoover win number 1, but they've caught Daniel DK again. And this time Lindsey Snyder and Alex Hoover got held up. But Dylan Young, he's just basically hoping that nobody can catch a run on him, and he will win this race in slightly dominating fashion. Although it ain't over till it's over, and Quentin Moore and Dylan Poteet trying to catch back up to the 2 car. Meanwhile, it looks like Lindsey Snyder and Alex Hoover's chances have gone up in smoke. Mitchell Collins, a little more questionable, but he might not be in contention now. But they're about to approach another slower car on track, and that's Melissa Alexander with rear end damage. Actually, a few slower cars. So who knows? We'll see if those 3 drivers can catch back up. If they can catch up to them in time. But nonetheless, Dylan Young, who has led much of this race, mostly because drivers have just not been able to get a run on him unless they're in like a big pack. And oh, I think we're under caution again. Caleb Kilburn, yeah, we are under caution as Caleb Kilburn's got damage. Laney Marino, another Rookie of the Year contender with big time damage. So, oh, Kyle Matthews, the points leader, was caught up in this too. Championship implications just continue to change up. And that is actually the break James Qualls and company needed right there. But Qualls is so far back, he's going to have to like really push it. But I don't know if it's still going to be enough for him to get back into contention. But the caution comes out with 6 laps to go. We're going to quickly take a look and see what brought the caution out for the second time today here at Atlanta. Well, here's a look at what happened. So this all came about because they encountered Daniel DK again, and then what's going to happen is Caleb Kilburn's trying to thread the needle between Kyle Matthews and Dylan Jacobs, but ends up getting into Matthews, down into Jacobs, and then all three of these cars hit really hard into the outside wall. Kyle Matthews and Dylan Jacobs especially. Kilburn went up into the air and slammed into the driver's side of Dylan Jacobs. But that's not over. That's not all we got from this wreck, because Laney Marino is going to come flying in as Dylan Jacobs starts going down the racetrack, and Laney Marino trying to stay down there. But again, at high speed, slams the 41 of Dylan Jacobs, and then Jacobs is going to take another hard hit into the outside wall. So a bit of a triple whammy for Dylan Jacobs. He hit the outside wall really hard in the initial incident, then got hit hard in the left rear by Laney Marino, and then hard into the outside wall again. And absolutely ripped the right front fender off of the 34 of Marino. And Dylan Jacobs' car completely demolished because of that. But a 4-car incident bringing out the caution. Let's take you to what will probably be our final restart here at Atlanta. Well, after that second caution, we have 3 more cars out of the race. Laney Marino, Caleb Kilburn, Dylan Jacobs. Daniel DK is 4 laps down. But the race ain't over till it's over. It's going to be 3 to go at the line. Dylan Young is your leader. Second is Quentin Moore. Third is Dylan Poteet. Fourth, Mitchell Collins. Fifth, Alex Hoover. Sixth is Lindsey Snyder. Seventh, Seth Cole. Eighth is William Brock. Ninth, Artur Castanha. 10th is Lauren Marino. 11th, Jordan Forbes. 12th, Zachary Fitzwater. 13th, Matt McIntyre. 14th, Jessica Sheldon. 15th is Keith Miller Jr. 16th, Chris Dollarton. 17th, Ryan Acosta. 18th, Lisa Nelson. 19th, Jonathan Zorline. 20th, Cody Lamas. Final 3 laps of the season are about to commence. Dylan Young trying to put the exclamation point on winning this race as the green flag is back out here at Atlanta. Drivers trying to make some big daring moves, like Alex Hoover making it 3 wide for third. Goes by Collins and Poteet for that spot. But yeah, drivers trying to do final last minute strides to get more spots. Dylan Young with a gap between himself and second place again because of that restart. Lindsey Snyder trying to get to second for herself, trying to work that bottom lane as it's now 2 to go here at Atlanta. And Lindsey Snyder trying to give it all she's got against Dylan Young. And Dylan Young was actually a bit slow on that restart lap. But if he can just hold everybody off, he is golden. But we'll see what happens as the white flag is about to be displayed here in a moment for the 2 of Dylan Young. As he's looking for win number 1 this season, white flag is out. And look at the run Seth Cole is getting. Seth Cole trying to put a big mark on the season. As we're down the back straightaway for the final time, doesn't look like anybody's going to take the win away from Dylan Young. Dylan Young, we're getting ready to come out turn number 4 for the final time this season. Checkered flag waving. Dylan Young, first win of the season. He wins the Hooters 500 at Atlanta in dominating fashion. He just, once he got up to the front, you could not really beat him. And Dylan Young pulls off a huge win here at Atlanta to conclude a fantastic season of racing. But let's look at the rest of the results. Jordan Forbes with another great top 5 finish to end the season off strong in second. Seth Cole, only his second top 5 finish of the season, in third. Artur Castanha, solid run in fourth. And Lindsey Snyder with a great run in fifth. Mitchell Collins, solid performance in sixth. Solid seventh for William Brock. Alex Hoover with only his 5th top 10 finish of the season in 8th. Excuse me. Quentin Moore 9th. And Matt McIntyre with a solid run in 10th. Then there is your top 20, your top 30, and then the bottom 5 for today was Daniel DK, Laney Marino, Caleb Kilburn, Dylan Jacobs, and Henry Sanford. But as far as the championship, Jay Jefferson only finished a couple spots ahead of Kyle Matthews. Qualls didn't finish high enough to surpass. And Lisa Nelson was the Rookie of the Year, meaning Kyle Matthews is your Season 10 NNSCRA Marvel Studios Cup Series champion. Well-deserved championship for that young man, as Matthews, after so long of trying and coming up short a couple occasions, he finally pulled it off and got a championship. Congratulations to Kyle Matthews. And thank you all so much who has watched every race this season in Season 10. Despite a couple of missteps, this was an excellent season of racing, and I can't wait to see what's going to be coming in Season 11. But Season 11 will not begin until October, so a couple of months hiatus, and things will be up and running before you know it. But until then, thank you guys for watching. Here are the victory burnouts for all three: Dylan Young, Lisa Nelson, and Kyle Matthews, in celebration of their individual accomplishments, and your final point standings of Season 10. And this is Levi McIntyre signing off. See you in October.